joining from India, and a very good evening to everyone who's joining from Korea. My name is Jyoti Sihag, and I will be your host for today's session. We are all gathered here to discuss about MBA in Korea in today's session, and I would like to thank ISRK for organizing today's session. Um, Before we start the session, I would like to give a little brief about ISRK. ISRK stands for Indian Students and Researchers in Korea. It's a non-profit organization in South Korea that aims to connect all the Indian origin students and researchers residing in South Korea to provide them with educational, job, and community support. Not only that, ISRK team is organizing these free live interactive sessions series for 3 months from February to April 2023 regarding different scholarships programs in Korea to help our Indian students from smaller towns this year again. Around 200 students benefited from this initiative last year. The motive of this free interactive series to provide benefit to maximum needy Indian students from smaller towns who are unable to do higher studies without a scholarship. ISRK live interactive sessions with Indian researchers in Korea will provide you with detailed experiences to know about application process, eligibility, research field, also the selection process for different fields of study. Total 10 sessions on different scholarships will be organized with scholarship recipients on every Sunday at 6 p.m. KST and 2:30 p.m. IST from 19th February to 30th April 2023. I would request everyone joining today to follow ISRK on all the social medias to keep getting the updates and not miss a live interactive session where you can learn a lot about different scholarships and how you can achieve your dream to study in Korea. Now let's move on, and I will be introducing all our lovely speakers today. We have first Pragati Rathod. She's from Mumbai. She did her bachelor's and master's degree in advanced accountancy, and she has 4 years of work experience in international tax and regulations at KPMG. Currently, she is doing her language school at Daejeon University, and she will be moving to Sungkyukwon University next year for her MBA. She likes to hike and try new cuisines. Thank you, Pragati, for joining us today. And next, we have Saloni Gupta. She's from Lucknow. She did her bachelor's in design from National Institute of Fashion Technology, NIFT. She is 2022 GKS scholarship recipient. And currently, she is doing her language year in Kongyang University, Nonsan. And for master, she will be moving to Hanyang University. She likes to travel around Korea and discover cafes, and she also makes content while traveling in Korea. Thank you, Saloni, for joining us today.
Thank you,
Next,
Jyoti.
we have Sampriti Datta. She's from New Delhi, and she did her bachelor's in English honors. After completion of her undergraduate studies, she worked as a journalist for a year. She is one of the GKS recipients 2022 as well, and she got her scholarship via embassy track. Currently, she is pursuing her Korean language at Paicha University in Daejeon. And after her language year, she will be moving to Ehwa University for communication and media. In her free time, she likes to travel around Korea and making content. So I think you all should visit her socials and check out her content as well. At the end, last but not the least, we have Smruti. She's from Maharashtra. She did her bachelor's in mass media. She has 5 years of work professional experience, and currently she's studying Korean language at Paicha University as well, pursuing her master's next year in Kangwon National University. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. Okay. Well, from here on, I would like Pragati to take over, and Pragati will be our first speaker to discuss about why you should be choosing MBA to study in Korea and why MBA can be a good option for you to come and pursue as a further studies in Korea. Along with that, at the end, she will be sharing her personal experiences as well. Pragati, please take over.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Jyoti. Good evening, everyone, and good afternoon to those joining from India. First and foremost, I'd like to thank ISRK for hosting this informative session and letting me share my experience with the application process, which can help a lot of other students who are applying this year. To begin with, today I will be talking briefly about a few things. Firstly, why you should consider South Korea as a destination for your MBA program. Things to keep in mind while applying to business schools in South Korea, like basic requirements from South Korean B schools, scholarships that are available for the MBA course in various colleges in South Korea, and my personal experience of the application process. So to begin with, why MBA in South Korea? It's a fact that Korea is in the global spotlight right now.
Sorry, Pragati, can I interrupt? If you're sharing screen, it's not visible right now. Could you try and share it, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes, we can see it now. Thank you. Oh.
Yes. How about now?
Yes, it's working now. Thank you.
So to begin with, why you should consider South Korea as a destination for your MBA program. Like most of my peers and family and friends ask me, why did you choose South Korea out of like so many other countries that are offering a very good MBA programs? Usually I say that Korea is in the global spotlight now due to its solid soft power, and they have proven themselves to be leaders in areas like marketing and communication. And Korea puts a lot of importance in research and development. It also pumps out a huge chunk of its GDP into research and development expenditure. And as an MBA candidate, research and innovation are one of the most important aspects that you look out for in an MBA program. So the first point I would like to put forward is global ranking. Just based on pure statistics, Korea has 6 colleges in the top 100 of the QS World University Rankings, which is based on various criteria like reputation, employability post graduation, number of students, number of international students in the class. And it also has a lot of colleges in the Financial Times rankings, as well as the Times Higher Education ranking. The rankings are getting higher year after year with the growing demand for education opportunities in South Korea. However, I would like to comment that rankings should not be the sole deciding factor for deciding a college in South Korea. It should be like a partial influence to a decision. In the end, what matters is how you optimally utilize the opportunity that you're given. So rankings do matter, but only to a certain extent. The next point would be it's a leader in technology. Much before the K entertainment industry took over the world, Korea was known for its electronics, automobile and machinery industry. It has a very dynamic economy, and it's shown a steady growth over the years. Also, Korea is one of like the front runners in tech adaptability. That is, they adapt technology in their ordinary day-to-day life. So you will have the best infrastructure here. The living facilities and your standard of living is going to increase considerably. Also, if to put forward a few more statistics, Seoul was chosen as the second best city for a student, best student city in the world this year by the QS rankings, based on criteria like affordability and the views of the students, the opinions from the students. And another city called Daejeon was also part of the top 100 best student cities in the world. So these are the numbers that just prove that there has been a rising interest in South Korea as a destination for your further studies. Next point would be Korea is striving for globalization currently. Korea is more or less a homogeneous society, but in the recent years, the last few years, it has seen a shift in its homogeneity in the demographics. There is like a huge influx of foreigners in the recent years, and as an outcome for this, how Korea is responding to it is that they're offering more career opportunities for all the foreigners that are heading to South Korea in search of these opportunities. Also, to explain simply, multinational companies in Korea are hiring, they need managers who have knowledge of Korea as well as know the Korean language or have Korean MBAs so that they can head operations in their own respective countries. So if to give you a small example, say an MBA student in Korea who is from India and has a background in, say, computer engineering, that candidate can attract the attention of companies who are in the IT sector and those companies who are planning to expand or further their operations back in India. So if you have the knowledge of Korean business culture and practices, it will give you an upper hand over all the other candidates who are also vying for the same jobs. Another thing for globalization, from the globalization point of view, I would say that a lot of universities are also offering semester exchange programs where you can go to another university in another country which has a tie-up with the Korean university for a single semester. For example, I'm going to Songkyunkwan University this year, in fact, and it has a semester exchange program with colleges in the United States, France, Germany, China, and Singapore. And also another program that the colleges in South Korea are offering are dual degree programs. Dual degree programs are where there are two participating universities. So you do 1 year of the course in Korea and 1 year, the remaining duration of the course in another country. So this is their response to striving for globalization. The curriculum, coming to MBA curriculum in South Korea, it's very similar to those offered by B schools all around the world. The course usually begins with a core general MBA, like the traditional core MBA, with subjects like economics, financial management, strategic management, and ethics. And also after maybe one semester, you get to choose niche specialization courses and subjects that you are interested in, like finance, marketing, innovation and strategy, data analytics, which is very popular right now. And also there are many options within the MBA program. Like you can do a full-time MBA where you have to attend classes throughout the week, every day. And you have part-time and executive MBAs where you can do it along with working. You usually go to college like maybe twice or thrice a month, and the rest of the course is usually in assignments and based on assignments. And also you can do a professional MBA, which is like a shorter, concise version of the traditional full-time MBA. And lastly, I would like to point out the teaching methods. Korea is known for putting heavy emphasis on education in like its society, and there is a very strong competition amongst the students in Korea to get into the best universities, not only in Korea but also across the world, and that is reflected in the teaching methods that are followed in Korean colleges. So with MBA, there is like a theoretical aspect to it. You will study theory as well as there will be practical immersion. Like you will also be learning practically with regular presentations, case studies, industrial visits, and internship programs. The most of your teachers at global MBA programs in South Korea are foreigners. So you will also learn a lot about different teaching styles from different countries. So you will get to experience something which you've not experienced in India. So I hope these reasons are sufficient to clear any inhibitions in your mind, which might be in your mind about South Korea and why you should be selecting South Korea as a destination for your MBA. Moving on. Yeah, so this is more technical. These are the application requirements, like a loose application process, generally that is followed by B schools, and things that you should keep in mind while applying for any B school. I would like to point out that this is not specific to any university or specific to any scholarship. This is like a very general, mostly followed by B schools in South Korea. So you begin with the application form. The application form, you just have to fill in your details like your academic background, whether you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or any other additional professional degrees. There is a minimum GPA requirement in most colleges, and that is specified in the guidelines provided by the university. You can check it out on the website. And along with this, you have to support your information with documents like your academic transcripts, graduation certificate, and any other documents that are required in the application process. The most important part of your application is the essay. Usually around 3 to 4 essays are required for each college. It depends from college to college, so you really have to read the application guidelines very carefully. So what is a common factor for all colleges is you have to write a personal statement. A personal statement is like an essay where you have to show why you should be selected as a candidate over all the other candidates that are applying. You should put a lot of thought and efforts in this part of the application because usually the essay is the deal maker or breaker. There should be you should include like a clear reason for why you want to do MBA. And why do you want to do an MBA in South Korea? So if your essay is convincing enough that why you are the perfect fit for this class in this cohort, and you should also mention why choosing you would be like beneficial not only to you but also to the university and to the general consensus of the class. Also, yeah, another essay that you should mention is the goal of study statement, which includes your motivation to do an MBA. So you have to include your short-term as well as your long-term goals with this MBA program and how it is going to add value to your career. Any other things that you can include in your application are your GMAT or GRE scores. These are not usually mandatory requirements, but each university has its own like basic requirements. So you should check out the application guidelines very carefully. There is no harm in including a GMAT or GRE. It is only going to help your application. There is no harm in including it, even if it's not mandatory. And the same goes for English language test scores like your IELTS, TOEFL. Each university has its own mandatory requirements. To make your application stronger, you can include an IELTS or a TOEFL. For topic is the Korean language proficiency test. There might be a requirement if the MBA course that you select is offered in Korean or like a combination of Korean and English. In case the course is entirely in English, there are low chances that there will be a topic requirement. However, if you apply for financial aid or scholarships, there might be a condition for the scholarship recipient to submit a topic score to receive the scholarship. So check that. Letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendation is generally required to be submitted with your application. You can ask your college professors or your previous employer to write your recommendation letter to support your application. Even if you're applying for financial aid or scholarships, a letter of recommendation is required. When it comes to work experience, there is no mandatory requirement unless it is specifically mentioned in the guidelines. So an MBA is a very dynamic course. There are students who are freshers, who are just freshly graduated from their undergraduate, and there are students who have like 10-15 years of work experience. So there is no like precondition. To get to know the trend and the idea and the pattern followed by the college that you're applying to, I would suggest that you should check out the alumni, the previous batches, and what kind of candidates they're hiring. If there is like a pattern that is visible, so you should contact like the previous students from the previous years. And I want to conclude, I want to reiterate that these are just like very few basic points that are required for all B school applications in general. This is not specific to any university or any scholarship or financial aid program. Moving forward, I would like to highlight few scholarships that are available in South Korea, and these are offered by the different colleges. To start with, the Global Korea Scholarship is like the most popular and widely known by everyone. There is Seoul National University President Fellowship, Yonsei University Underwood International College, Korea University Scholarship for International Students, Gyeongbuk National University International Graduate Scholarship, POSCO TJ Park Scholarship for Asian Students, Samsung Global Hope Scholarship, Korea National University AMA Plus Scholarship, EWA Global Partnership Program, and the Changwon National University Grad School Full-Time Research Scholarship. So due to time constraint, I'm just like naming them, but to get to know more about these, I would suggest you to check the application guidelines on their respective websites. And also to get to know different universities. The next speaker, Saloni, is going to speak in detail about each university and the MBA programs that they're offering. Lastly, I would like to talk about my personal experience while applying for the MBA program. I will be doing the full-time MBA at Songkyunkwan University this year. It's an 18-month program, which is entirely in English. And I'm also a Global Korea Scholarship 2022 recipient through the university track. So my experience is limited only to the GKS scholarship. Since I was applying to the university track, I had made a very specific application, which is relevant. Like I made it really relevant to my university. In my personal statement, I included instances from my own life, experiences from my own life, which motivated me to pursue an MBA, and briefly about why I chose South Korea as a destination for my MBA. And I also mentioned how doing this MBA from South Korea will help me elevate my career, help elevate my profile. So I would suggest that you should make the admissions committee convinced that you are the clear candidate that has to be selected out of everyone else. Make the reasons very crisp and clear, and it should really attract the admissions committee. For the study plan, so as per the GKS application, you have to submit a study plan, which is you have to submit 2 study plans. One is a language study plan. For that, even though my course is entirely in English, I have to still submit a topic level 3 test report to receive the GKS scholarship. And I included that in my application. And I also submitted an IELTS score, even though it was not a requirement for students who can submit a certificate from their colleges saying that they have studied entirely in English and their course, the medium of instruction of their course is entirely in English. They can be exempted from submitting English scores, but nonetheless, I had still submitted just to add a little bit to my application. The second one is your goal of study or a study plan for the MBA degree. For that, you need to give a detailed description of your short-term study plan, which is like 1 to 2 years for the duration of the MBA course, and you need to add about what specifically you are going to do during the MBA course, like subjects, extracurriculars, and such kind of information. And for the long-term study plan, I had included what I will be doing after I graduate. So you can include that information, which can be like going back to India or searching for work opportunities in South Korea itself. Here, I would suggest including points which might, describe how you are going to benefit Korea in the long run, because the Korean government is paying for you to come and study in their country. So it will be favorable for you if you add in points which suggest that, okay, you are not only going to benefit yourself, your profile, but you're going to benefit the university and South Korea. So the personal statement and the goal of study statement are the most important the most important part of your application. And I would suggest refer to as many sources of information as you can, read articles on the internet, talk to previous GKS scholars, watch YouTube videos. There's a lot of information available online, so that you have an understanding of what exactly you need to expect, what is expected out of you exactly from the application. Other than that, I had included my work resume and my certificates from the extracurricular activities. So the aim for your application is to show that you are a good candidate academically and extracurricular, like an overall good candidate, and why you should be selected. So ending my session here, I would like to thank ISRK again for giving me the opportunity to share my experience. And I hope that I answered at least a few questions that you guys must be having in your mind. And best of luck for your application. And okay, back to you, Jyoti.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pragati. That was very informative. And all the listeners here today, I would like to inform that at the end, we will have a Q&A session. So please make sure you note down all the questions you have. And if you have any particular question for a particular speaker, we will give you a chance at the end and you can ask them the questions. Moving on, the second speaker, we have Saloni. She will be talking about different universities who offer MBA in Korea, as well as different departments which come under the Masters of International Studies. So Saloni, please take over.
Hello. Thank you, Jyoti, for the warm welcome, and thank you, ISRK team, for having me. I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know if it's visible.
Sure. Yes, it's visible, Saloni.
Okay. So hello, everyone. I'm Saloni, and I'm a GKS 2022 scholar from India. And I'll be doing my master's in international MBA from Hanyang University. And I'll be covering topics like the different universities that offer MBA, and then everything about like MBA and like the master's in specialized degrees. So if you want to study business, there are like 2 degrees that you can opt for. There is a third one, GSIs as well. I'll talk about that later. But basically, like there is global MBA and there is masters in specialized degree, like masters in management, masters in finance, etc. So I'll be covering the differences between both of them. Global MBA, you get a master's of business administration degree, and in master's in specialized degree, you get like a master's in finance degree. Global MBA is always taught, like it's majorly taught in English, like all the universities providing global MBA, they have their entire curriculum in English. While if you do a master's in a specialized degree, they might have like 50% Korean, or like their entire degree might be in Korean. So you might have to like submit a topic score for that as well. Then global MBA does not have like a regional focus. So what I mean by regional focus is that when you're doing case studies or when you're doing like presentations, it does not like cater to South Korea. While if you're doing like a master's in specialized degree, you like they may have like regional focus as well, like particular case studies from Korean brands or from Korean companies. Then global MBA, it has like a general approach, like you study all the subjects, management, finance, operations, everything, and you can select your electives on your own. While in like a master's in specialized degree, you get like an in-depth knowledge of like, for example, masters in finance. If you're choosing masters in finance, so you'll be doing all the basic subjects that are required in masters of finance, like accounting, investment theory, economy, like corporate finance, while you won't be doing all these subjects in global MBA. Coming to the next slide, I'll be covering the universities that offer MBA and like masters in specialized degrees. So all the universities that are listed here, they cover masters in specialized degree. And even though like all the universities here cover masters in specialized degree, some of them may or may not give scholarships or might not come under the GKS scholarship or any other scholarship. So while you're choosing your universities, if you're going through like a scholarship, I like I would request you to like uh, mail them and like consider like if they're providing it for the next year or not. So like Korea University, Yonsei University, Sungkyun Kwan University, these are like the top universities that I've mentioned in these slides. Like they are the top, 20 or 30 universities that offer masters in specialized degree. Specifically, if we talk about the universities that offer global MBA, so these are Sungkyun Kwan University, Yonsei University, Hanyang University, Aju University, Dongguk University, Chonggang, KAIST, and Jeonnam University. As I said, for the earlier universities, these might or like may or may not come under GKS or any other scholarship. So like if I give an example, like Yonsei used to provide their global MBA program till 2021, but in 2022, they stopped providing their program under GKS. Same happened with Hanyang University this year. Like it provided the international MBA or global MBA till last year, but this year they are not providing their course. So please check with your university, email them, like simply just email them that you're interested in their course and you want to go through like this is scholarship. So will they be providing that course in that particular scholarship for the coming semester or not? So you'll be clear for the application process. Then coming to the third way, which by which you can study like business, is GSIS, and a lot of people are confused between GSIS, MBA, and Masters in Specialized Degree. So GSIS is offered by only like some universities in Korea, and they are the programs that are offered are international studies, international business, international trade, international finance, and international relations. So the basic difference is that you receive a Master's of Arts degree in International Studies, for example, and not an MBA degree. Also, like the courses, these all courses are provided in 100% English, regardless of the universities you choose. And the colleges that offer these subjects are IVA, Sogang, Busan, HUFS, Korea University, Yonsei, Kyunghee, and Hanyang. Again, I'll say that you should check with each university while you're preparing for your application. Also, one of the major differences between GSIS and other MBA and Masters in Specialized Degree program is that this is more GSI is more of theory based subject and not like a more practical based subject. Like MBA is really practical, that you have to give presentations, you have to do internships, you have to do a lot of case studies. But in GSIS, it's more like you may have to write a thesis, which is not really required in MBA. So while choosing, like you can set your parameters accordingly, like which one do you want to choose. Coming to the fee structure, so if you are not coming on a scholarship, the total tuition fee, like for 1 year, for 1.5 year to 2 years, might cost around $40,000 to $50,000. This does not include accommodation, food, transport. Those are all separate expenses, and you also have to pay separately for your application fee. Basically like Yonsei University charges around 48,000. Then there's Sungkyun Kwan, Chunggang. So the approximate price for each university ranges between 40,000 to 50,000. Then apart from these, the accommodation, food, transport, and other expenses, they might nearly cost around 8,000 to $1,200. And they also depend on like the type of place you rent, or like the if you choose a dormitory or the place you are staying. So it can change from person to person. Then coming to like my experience with GKS and getting MBA is that since I was not from a business background, like my bachelor's was in design, and just after graduation, I applied for GKS. So I did not really have a business or like an internship experience in specifically in the business field. So for me, it was really like I had to back myself up a lot while applying, because a lot like major of the students that you see in these courses are from business fields. So it's not like you cannot apply if you don't have these requirements. Like it's not a requirement, but it obviously gives you a upper hand. But for me, I knew like I had to convince them like what I did in my bachelor's and what I did in my previous internship experience that led me to choose MBA, and what how I got interested in MBA, and then how why I need MBA. So all of those things. And apart from that, I also showed them like how will it help me in my future, like my future career goals and etc. And so what if you're changing your major, or if you don't have any experiences business or related fields, you should have a really strong point to convince them that you are the perfect fit for this batch, for this class, and like you won't lag behind, or you will provide your inputs throughout the class, because MBA or masters in specialized degrees like finance, they require a lot of inputs like while doing case studies, etc. So all of these points that I just mentioned, I added them in my personal statement and SOP. And like before starting my personal statement and like SOP, I chose my three universities, and the parameters that I chose were like the course should be in 100% English curriculum. Secondly, it should be an MBA degree, not a MA degree or not a master's in specialized fields. Then for me, I wanted to study in Seoul, like, but as I said, like these parameters can differ from people to people. So it's okay that if you don't want to study in Seoul or wherever place you're comfortable in studying in. Then also, since I was not a business graduate previously, so I wanted like a curriculum that I could understand easily and where I could put my input in. Fifthly, I wanted like a wide variety of electives, which like I could choose from. And then lastly, I looked through a large alumni network that could help me later in my future to land maybe jobs and to make network connections. So while I was writing all these parameters, I automatically like I was like shortened down to a 4 or 5 universities maybe, and that's how I selected my universities. So before like choosing your universities, I'll suggest you to write your parameters and then plan accordingly. And then after that, I wrote my study plan, and then I arranged my documents accordingly. And since I was an embassy track student, I did not have an interview, even though some people do have an interview, especially if you're university track in GKS. Otherwise, as well, if you're coming through your own money, then they'll probably have an interview with you. So you should be prepared with interview questions as well. So I think that's how I'll end my session. Um, Thank you again, the ISRK team and Jyoti, and I'll
Yes, thank you so much, Saloni. We have next speaker, Sampriti, and she will be talking about why you should select media and communication in Korea. She will also explain some basic requirements that university asks for, specifically to media and communication. So Sampriti, please take over.
Hi, I am just going to open my screen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jyoti, for hosting this wonderful session, and thank you to the ISRK community for giving me this opportunity. Be yeah, because I think these days a lot of candidates want to study a lot of candidates want to study media and communication in South Korea, and rightly so, because I don't think so the question should be why you should study media and communication in South Korea. I think the question should be why not, because as we know, the Korean entertainment industry is at the top right now. The Hallyu wave has affected almost all parts of the world, and especially the youth. They indulge a lot in the Hallyu wave. And apart from that, the Korean media industry is not about just the entertainment industry. I'd say the other parts of media, say PR, advertising, or even health, are pretty developed in Korea. And I think that is one of the major reasons why students are attracted to study in South Korea, because this gives you an hands-on experience in this rapidly growing industry. And basically, students who major in communication in media in Korea are given opportunities to understand various features of media industry, like the press, broadcasting, digital media, and it also gives them an opportunity to maybe later on work in the entertainment industry in Korea. So I think this can be your stepping stone if you really want to build a career around Korean media. Now I'll go on to the basic requirements to study media and communication in, uh, 1 second. Yeah. So the basic requirements are pretty common for all the other majors. Even I think Pragati explained them quite well, but I'll just go over them again. So the first point might seem a bit redundant, like, of course, you need a bachelor's degree to study master's in media and communication. But I would like to say that for scholarships, they are pretty particular that you give them the bachelor's degree beforehand. So it is quite hard for students who are in their last year get get the scholarships, because universities would like students who are already graduates. The next is GPA. Now, the GPA requirements vary from university to university. Most universities usually want students who have above 65%. However, if you're applying for a scholarship, you need to have a good GPA, maybe above 80%, because a lot of scholarships in Korea are merit-based, and they put a lot of emphasis on academic merit. The next point is topic level, and I don't know why I didn't like bold it or something, because topic is really important for media and communication. I don't want to discourage any student who wants to apply for media and communication in Korea, but topic is quite essential if you're applying media and communication in Korea, because most courses, if not all, are the mode of instruction is usually fully Korean or at best partially Korean. And universities will prefer you if you have a good topic levels, because it's easier for you to adjust to the course. The next is essays, your statement of purpose, and your motivation. I think it is pretty like your essays are also a very important part of your application, because they describe you, like who you are as a person. And it is especially important if you are changing your field of study. Like, it is not important that you have to have done your undergraduate studies in mass communication. You can be from any related field, but apply for masters in media and communication. However, your essays should show a clear motivation and also convince the admission committee as to why you will be an asset to the university. Personally, I am also from a different field. I was from I did my graduate studies in English honors, but I could convince the committee, I guess, that I will be a good match for the university. The next is letter of recommendation. Usually, ideally, you should get your letter of recommendation from your academic supervisor or your professional mentor. However, I would say it's better to get it from your academic supervisor. I will come to it later. And finally, experience. It is optional, but they will prefer you if you have experience. Because I think since it is so competitive to get an admission, they would always prefer a person who has experience. So for me, even though I was from a different field, I had some experience to my name, which I think helped my application. And this experience is not limited to full-time jobs. I'd say even if you have done internships, they count a lot. So even so, if you're in your if you're in doing your bachelor's right now, I'd suggest that you get a lot of exposure through internships or through clubs where you can get some an idea of what you would really want to do if and when you take you try to pursue masters in media and communication. The next is, yeah, universities offering media and communication. Almost all major universities in Korea offer media and communication. However, I would also again emphasize that most universities offer media and communication in Korean. So, like there are the Sky universities, of course, SNU, KU, Yonsei. All of them offer their course in Korean. I think KU offers it partially in English and Korean both. However, they would also prefer if you have a Korean level to you. Then there is Sungkyunkwan University, which is, I think, the top university for media and communication in Korea. Hanyang University, Eva University, Sogang universities are some of the other Seoul universities that offer media and communication. And apart from that, some of the regional universities that offer media and communication are Yangnam University, Gangwon National University, Dongga University, Jeonnam National University, and there are many more universities. As I told, most universities have a department for media and communication. And I think it's just important for you to go and check all their curriculums, because I wouldn't tell you to just apply to a university because of its prestige, or rather you should see if you are a good fit for them. Because, for instance, Soga University offers 4 tracks for media and communication: journalism, digital media, film studies, and advertising. And they're really specific and they're really good. However, if you're not sure in which area you want to go to, it's better to take a more holistic course, such as the ones offered by Korea University or Eva University. But on the other hand, say if you are really sure about what you want to do, it's better to have a course that is really specific. The next are some scholarships that are present in Korea for media and communication. So, of course, the first and foremost one is GKS, Global Korea Scholarship. This scholarship is really well-rounded. It actually funds almost everything. But however, it's not the only scholarship. So there are a lot of other scholarships, though most of the limelight is on GKS. I think if you really want to come to Korea to study, you should check out these other scholarships, because even if they don't cover the entire cost like GKS, they also cover a major portion of your tuition. So for instance, we have the POSCO Asia Fellowship, which is funded by the POSCO TJ Park Foundation. It is provided to Asian students, and they fund your masters up to 4 semesters. And if you're applying for postgraduate studies, they will fund it for 6 semesters. And they also give a stipend just like GKS. Then we have the Global Hope Scholarship provided by Samsung Dream Scholarship Foundation. It also funds your tuition in Korea. And finally, this one, I think, Art Major Asian Scholarship, which is provided by one of the top arts colleges in Korea, Korea National University of Arts, is also a really good scholarship, and it is provided to students who have artistic excellence. It is really similar to GKS, and there is also they also fund for your Korean language studies. And apart from this, there are a lot of scholarships that are specifically provided by specific universities. Off the top of my head, I can name EGPP, which is provided by EVA, and there are multiple scholarships provided by Korea University, Yonsei University. So basically, all you need to do if you want to apply for a very specific university scholarship is just type the university name and scholarship on Google, and you will find a lot of information about it. And yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sampriti. Again, I would like to inform all the listeners, you should be making notes. And if you have any questions, we will have a Q&A session at the end. We have our last speaker, Simruti, and she will be talking about fee structures of some of the universities, along with living in Korea as a student, what are the financial challenges or what are the finances you have to take care of. So she will be discussing all of that. Samruti, please take over.
Thank you so much. I would just like to thank ISRK for this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me here today. I'll just begin. Hold up. Is my screen visible?
It's loading.
It's loading. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's visible
So
now.
I'm just going to like tell everyone. Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna talk in brief about the life, also kind of like the life in Korea so far, and also like the fee structure that like everybody needs to keep in mind. I think Sampriti has covered most of the part when it comes to media and communication, because there is not much information out there regarding media and communication, specifically in South Korea. So yeah. Um, so estimately, if we like consider, Yonsei University has around since it's a very like prestigious university, as we all know, the price over there, like the tuition fees over there, are like much higher in comparison to other universities, which is Sungkyunkwan and Eva Women's University. Um, and basically, so like what you need to keep in mind is in South Korea, when you come in for your like every particular course has around like 2 semesters. So in those 2 semesters, like the round off that I've calculated over here is for 2 years of your masters. So yeah, I mean, you just need to keep that in mind, that these are like the expenses that you need to be well prepared before, because GK scholars are exempt from having to pay for these tuition fees, which is like a good thing for us. So yeah, like these things are things you need to keep in mind. And other expenses that you need to really consider is your living expenses over here. Accommodation is not that expensive if you consider like it in comparison to the Indian rupee, but still like the lifestyle here, and like I think how Pragati has mentioned, like people like live a really good lifestyle over here. So if you want to live the best lifestyle, you need to like have enough money with you when you come here. As GK scholars, since we are being funded every month, it's manageable for us. So even if we need extra money, we can always like ask for it, like from our home. But like when you're coming on your own over here for international students, make sure you have enough money. And for accommodation, around, I think it's around $600 currently, considering how the prices are rising everywhere because of COVID and everything like that's going on. Living expenses are also like around $500. Again, it depends on how you want to live your lifestyle and where you're like ready to compromise. So as for me, I do cooking at home most of the times, so I try and save my money in that way. so I can spend on other leisurely activities that I want to, like maybe if I want to go out traveling somewhere, so I can save my money for that. And other like miscellaneous expenses can go around 350 200 to $350. Totally, I mean, you should have like enough money, basically around at least $1,500. This is again a very approximate calculation that I've made so far, because since I am a GKS scholar, and we have that stipend, it's like much easier for us to manage our expenses, honestly. Yeah, so moving on. Future scope, technically, like Sampriti has mentioned, a very important thing here to remember is media and communication. All the like the entire course in most of the universities is in 100% Korean. So like I would like really request everyone, whoever's trying to like apply for this course, really think it through before you guys come here, because again, English is not like a like English is a degree that's like worldwide like renowned, so it's easier. But when you come to Korea, if you're like ready to like prepared to like be working here, then yes, definitely take up like media and communication. Or maybe you can also look for a 50-50 option that I think some universities also provide, which is 50% Korean and 50% English. Like knowing Korean over here is very important, especially if you want to pursue like a job and a proper career. um and yeah, like she mentioned, like Sampriti also mentioned about topic 4. Also, like for converting visas, like from your student visa to your work visa, it's easier, like the process is easier when you have like a topics like a nice level, like a proper level. I think around four or five level topic is kind of a good, it's considered good over here in Korea. So keep that in mind. You can, so basically in universities in Korea, there is no such thing as job placements like we have back in India. They do have job fairs over here, but it's not the same. The companies don't hire you because you have studied at a particular university, but your professors can recommend you, and also your university, like the international affair organization in your university can recommend you. They can help you out. um, but again, it's important to keep in mind that you need to know basic Korean. And there are many advertising agencies, PR, like media is booming. Korean media is like booming all over the world. Everybody knows about it. So there's plenty of opportunities provided you know your way around. And you can also go back to India and work for like Korean companies, like the Samsung or any other company where they would require your Korean knowledge, like where it can be useful. So yeah, that also can happen. You can also work for government related jobs back in India. That these are like many options, and you can also go for entrepreneurship or startup. But again, you can do that back at home. It's easier said than done. I mean, over here, it's a little bit difficult because of the whole visa process and your staying requirements, because it's a little strict here. So yeah, or you can also like pursue studies, further studies after your masters. You can pursue a PhD. You can take a scholarship here, as Sampriti mentioned some of the scholarships. Yes, you can opt for those, or you can also like go on your own for a PhD. um, and yeah, explore. Maybe more options will be open to you once you pursue a PhD here. And you can also go for consultancy. That is also another option. Again, it can be recommended by a professor, or your university recommendation will also help. It's nicer if you are in touch with a professor over here. It's really better. But it's not easy. But in our particular course in media and communication, it's not easy to find a professor and just quickly get in touch. Sampriti has applied via embassy track, while I have applied via university track. And I have not really like taken any professor's recommendation. I'm still here. But yeah, you can always like try. You should always try. Maybe luck might just uh, knock your door. So yeah, like these are the various options that you can consider. But please, just like before coming here, just think through once, what is it that you want to do. Do you want to pursue PR? Do you want to pursue advertising? what niche are you looking at when you think about mass media communication? Don't think of it as a whole, because otherwise it's just like, you're just going to take a degree and then go back home. Don't do that. Just think it through, because if you really want to come here and stay here, yes, that's possible, as long as you have your goals set. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's about it from my end.
Thank you so much, Samruti. That was amazing. And all the information all the speakers shared is very useful and very, like I said, some of us who got our scholarships in 2021, a lot has changed after that, and a lot of new updates have come through. So I am glad that all the speakers could share all the updated information. Now we have the Q&A session starting. So I would request all the listeners, if they have questions, they can just raise their hands and we can unmute you. If you have a question for specific speaker, please take their names. And before we start taking question, I just wanted to add that all the speakers were informing you about specific things you have to look out for. I would also like to share that there is a difference in the acceptance rate depending on the universities, whether it's a Sky University or another university. So all the aspirants should look into that as well. What is your competition? What is the acceptance rate of each university? So yes, I just wanted to add that information, and please raise your hands if you have a question. Um, okay. You can also share your questions in the comment section. Other speakers can just respond to you there as well. So Yashi, please ask your question.
Uh, Thank you for the informative session. I had a question for Saloni. Actually, I'm planning to apply in Sungkyunkwan University, in the same university. So I'm also not from business background. So I was going to ask her, is there anything specific that I should mention in the statement of purpose, which is very special to the university itself?
Hello. Yeah. So firstly, I'm not from Samkinkwan. Pragati is from Samkinkwan
Oh,
University.
Jyoti, I'm so sorry. Pragati, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Pragati, maybe you can answer.
So as I had mentioned, you have to really convince the admissions committee why you are changing your major, and why doing a business degree will add to what you already studied, or maybe you completely want to change your career profile. You have to have a very strong reason, a very convincing reason. So yeah, and if you're applying for any scholarships, then like I had mentioned, you need to put forward points which might favor the Korean economy, or how Korean economy, the trade relations between Korea and India might improve, or like how you might help, by working in maybe a Korean company, or bringing back the culture from Korea or something like that. If I can ask you, what is your undergraduate degree?
My undergraduate was in life sciences.
And you want to do a business degree now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really have to give a very convincing, like clear personal statement and your goal of study. And the goal of study, as I said, it should have like a short term and a long term study plan. Short term, like how are you going to move forward with your life science background, like after your MBA?
No, I'm planning to be in management.
In management, okay. So you can for the short term plan, you can mention like how the MBA program is going to help you to make that career shift, and why like particular subjects might help you in taking up management as a career option later on after you're done with your MBA. And for your long term goals, you can mention what you're going to do, what exactly you're going to do after graduating. Like if you have it in mind, whether you want to work in Korea or you want to work back home or any other country in the world. I hope that
Okay.
answers.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about the letter of recommendation. So for the letter of recommendation, should I ask from my principal? Is that okay? Or only from my department head?
I would suggest getting it from a teacher who's actually taught you. Department head is also okay, but it would be better if it's a teacher who has actually taught you in class, because it will be more convincing that okay, this person has actually studied under me and I have supervised the student personally. Because it'll be very suspicious if you ask the principal to give you a letter of recommendation, because the principal doesn't teach, right, in most cases. And a head of department would also work. Yeah, I think. But I would avoid the principal personally.
Oh, okay. Can you share your Gmail ID? If I have any questions, can I contact
I
you?
put it on the chat.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pragati. Anyone else has a question, please raise your hand. In the meantime, I am going to ask all the speakers the most asked questions so that we can wrap up the session with this answer, because it's the biggest query we receive every year. So difference between the university and embassy track, and which one would you suggest? So since we have speakers from both the tracks here, I want your opinions and what do you think is better, or which one would you recommend? Anyone can start. Maybe Sampriti, you can start.
Yeah, sure. I don't think so. Any track is better or easier. Both tracks have their own pros and cons, and every YouTube video you'll see will say the same thing, because that's what I have experienced too. However, I can tell you which profile might be more appealing to the embassy and which one might be more appealing to universities. So, for the reason why I chose embassy track was even though I contacted professors, no one really reverted back to me. And I think that's a really important point, because if you have a professor who is ready to take you in their department, then it's easier for you. Like you have more chances of getting into that university through university track. Coming to embassy track, and I will be focusing more on embassy track because I am from the same track. I think embassy track looks for people who have more of a well-rounded profile. They will look for some leadership qualities if you have them, or say if you have um, worked with the government on some level or the other, like, or say if you know Korean, that's really important for them too. Um, Till the last year, they used to somehow, sorry, not somehow, they clearly used to prefer students from universities which had a national ranking. However, I think that has it's not the case this year. But I would still suggest that people who are usually from central universities or from public universities have a slightly more chance of getting in embassy track. Though I know people who have gotten through private universities too. However, it's just something that gives you an edge. And for embassy track, the other thing, I think if you want to apply to Seoul universities, it is better. I'm not saying that it is the case, because even Pragati is going to a Seoul university and she's from university track. However, for Seoul universities, it's easier to get in through the embassy track rather than university track. Embassy track gives you three options, which I think is really a blessing if you are not sure about which university you want to go to. So, and university track, if you're really sure that this is the university you want to apply for, this is the university where your profile will fit the best, then I think you should go through university track. And uh, the last point, I think if you're from a science background, you might as well go for university track, because uh, universities usually prefer people from science a lot. And for people who are applying for, say, like media and communication or some other arts majors, I think it's preferable if you apply through embassy track. So, but that's this is all what I feel and what I got, like all my research told me. And of course, there are exceptions, and it all basically depends on which track is serving your purpose. So yeah, that's what I.
Okay, thank you, Sampriti. You added a lot to that discussion. Any other speakers who would like to add their points? Anyone from university track or embassy track would like to add more points? Saloni, do you want to say something?
I think Sampriti kind of summed it up it very well. Basically, before last year, I would say till 2021, we saw like a lot of scholars who were from central universities or state universities. But I think starting from last year, it has changed. So even though I feel that if you are from a central university, as Sampriti said, that you will have a benefit, but still, if you have a strong profile, if you have justified every point, and if you have everything ready, then you can try for embassy track. Also, if you're not sure for any one university, then like for me, I was not sure that if I'll be selected in any one university, so I tried via the embassy track. And then also the embassy track has an advantage that if you don't get through embassy track first, you can always try for university track if the deadlines are still remaining. So I think even for embassy track, it has pros, but then it has cons as well. Same stands for university track as well. So as Samriti said, that you should write down all your pros and cons and what you are looking for, and then make your decision. Like it may take like month or like more than that, but I think you should be really firm with what you're choosing so that you do not regret it later that, oh, you should have gone with this track. Or, so yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Saloni. So I would like to end the session by saying that when Sampriti was mentioning sole universities, any of the aspirants that are applying, that means the type A universities that you see in the application. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. And thank you so much again, all the speakers. Amazing information. I would like to now move on to the last session or the last part of our session, that is the vote of thanks. And I would like to ask Nupur to please take over.
Yeah. Um, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Nupur Bagil. I'm a GKS Scholar 2021, and I'm pursuing architecture, PhD in architecture from Korea University, Seoul campus. And it gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this interactive session organized by the ISRK team to all the presenters and participants assembled here. I would like to thank Honorary Consultants General of Korea, Hyderabad, and AAC and Community News Editor, Mr. Sanjeev K. Ahuja ji, as media partner for continuous support while publishing the scholarship session on their newspaper, as well as their encouragement to expand our approach. I'm also thankful to all the community leaders in Korea, as well as ISRK team members for providing their kind support for publicizing the live interaction session in their contacts. I would like to thank host of today's session, Jyoti. You did a really great job for conducting this wonderful session, as well as all the presenters, Pragati, Saloni, Sampriti, Samruti, for sparing their time for the ISRK and our Indian students while sharing their experience as well as answering all the questions of the participants. I would also like to thank ISRK President Dr. Lelesh sir and Vice President Dr. Iqbal sir, ISRK Education Team Dr. Vasudev sir, and ISRK team members for their restless involvement and dedication of making this event successful. I'm also thankful to all the participants for joining today's session. We will also have a live interaction session on university and professor funded scholarship on 12th March for MS, PhD and postdoctoral opportunities in Korea. We are looking forward to see you again in that session. If you have any doubts regarding higher education research opportunities in Korea, please join us on ISRK Facebook, Telegram, and other social media for further details. Thank you once again for today's session.
Thank you, Nupur, and thank you, everyone. Have a good evening and rest of the day. Bye-bye.